Welcome to tutorialsinhand.com. Now it's time to talk about functional interfaces and Lambda expression. That is, we are going to dive deeper into Java 8. So first thing is we will understand about functional interfaces and then we will check about what is the relationship between functional interfaces and the much talked about new feature, that is Lambda expression. So first thing is functional interface was introduced as part of Java 8. And what is functional interface? So let's create one interface. For example, you all know how to create interface, right? So we create interface something like this. So this is how we created any interface. The interface keyword marks that this is interface and this one is the name which you can change as per your requirement. You can write do task. So it is just a name. Whatever name you will want you can, but give it a logical name. So here we are just giving it do task. And within that interface, what we do is we provide some abstract methods. We could have any number of abstract methods, right? Let's create some abstract method. So this is the abstract method void greet. If you don't write abstract, then also it will work because by default all thing is abstract. So you can write abstract or you can remove this one, then also it will work fine. And this is abstract method. Abstract method means it does not have any implementation. So this is interface. So in this way we can have any number of abstract methods. For example, so this is what interface looks like, right? We can have any number of abstract methods. But what is functional interface then? The functional interface is something which is having only one abstract method. And why so? Because it is kind of something which focus on one task with 100% dedication. So this is why we have this functional interface which will have only one abstract method. So what will be the functional interface? We just need only one abstract method, and if it is having only one abstract method, then this is going to be functional interface. And if you are going to create functional interface, then there is an annotation which you should use, that is functional interface. You should mark your interface as functional interface so that it now understands that okay, this is functional interface and it has only one abstract method. Even if you don't mark it like this, then also it will treat it as functional interface because there is only one abstract method. But it's a good practice to have the interface marked as functional interface. So this is what functional interface looks like. It only has one abstract method. Yes, you can also have any number of default methods which we are not going to talk about right now because we are just going to talk about the Lambda expression and functional interface. So you should have just a knowledge about what this functional interface can have. So functional interface can have only one abstract method and then it can have any number of default methods. So we will look into default methods somewhere in other tutorials, but for now just focus on this one. So now if we go by traditional approach, how we could proceed, we needed one class, suppose class A, then it needs to implement the interface, suppose do task. So this needs to implement this one, and then what will happen here? See, it is giving error. Why? Because add unimplemented method, and the functional interface do task has a abstract method greet that needs to be implemented. So if you click this one, you can get this or you can type it yourself. So it is overriding what this interface method, and you need to provide the implementation at this place. Let's just have a simple print statement where we will just print hello world. So we are having a simple print statement hello TIH Java 8, right? And now what we needed to do in order to call this one, what we needed to do, go ahead to do task, and so do is a keyword, so let's change it to something else, do task, and then we needed to create instance of A, right? So this is how implementation is done, and now using this do task we could easily call the method greet. So this is the traditional way of working. Now what will happen when you create this reference and using that reference you call greet? So it will perform the task that is written within the greet method, or how it is implemented. So it is implemented just to print a simple statement. So in this way, if we run this, we will get hello TIH Java 8, right? So this is how traditional approach worked. But since from Java 8 Lambda expression and functional interfaces were introduced, so from Java 8 what happens is instead of going through this traditional approach of creating a class that implements the interface and then provide implementation, we could use lambda expression, and this is where the relationship between lambda expression and functional interface comes into play. How? Instead of writing this traditional approach and calling the implementing class over here, we could create a lambda expression for this do task functional interface. So we can directly create this implementation over here without using any helping class, right? So this is where lambda expression comes into play. So lambda expression is generally used to provide implementation to the functional interface. So this will provide implementation to functional interface. And how do we write lambda expression? So lambda expression is written using the parenthesis, and then there is an arrow sign to represent it is lambda expression. Then we have the body of the lambda expression. So let's proceed and see how it is done. So first thing is, you must know what is lambda expression. So lambda expression is an anonymous function where we do not have any name and we do not have any return type and we do not have any access modifier. So as our saying goes, so this is the implementation, right? So we are going to convert it to lambda expression. So as I said, lambda expression is anonymous function that does not have any name. So we do not require this method name at all. So this could be removed. It also doesn't have any return type. So we can remove this one also. And it also does not have any access modifier. So this could be removed as well. So this becomes something which we can have. And how to represent lambda expression? We already told that we can represent lambda expression using this arrow, right? And at the same time, you must be aware that everything in Java or every statement in Java ends with semicolon. So this is the complete lambda expression for the implementation that we were having in the traditional approach. And now we are going to take this, and instead of creating a reference, we are going to provide the implementation of lambda expression directly at this place. So see, this is the implementation. That means lambda expression is providing the implementation for this do task interface, which is a functional interface. So you can say that lambda expression provides implementation to functional interface, and this will also print the same thing, hello TIH Java 8, right? Now we don't require this class at all, and it becomes redundant and it is not needed. So see, it just removed the boilerplate code. We were unnecessarily using one intermediate class just to provide implementation and do the task. Rather, now we can do it within one class itself, where lambda expression will provide the implementation, and we could move ahead easily to achieve the same thing which we were achieving using the traditional approach. Now this could further be optimized. How it could be optimized? The thing is, when you have only one statement within the lambda expression body, then you don't require these parentheses. So you can remove the parentheses as well. So just remove the parentheses. So every statement ends with semicolon, so it is ending with semicolon. So I removed the semicolon as well. And now you can get this on the same line. So this is how you can write the lambda expression easily over here. You see, now this is the complete lambda expression. And now to see that it is really working fine, let's change the method, because we already have hello TIH Java 8 written. So let's print over here learn Java 8, and let's see whether lambda expression implementation is working fine or not. And this will print learn Java 8. Or you can also print the famous statement when you start learning anything, like hello Java 8, right? So this is how you can implement functional interface using lambda expression very easily. So this is now something which you know, that how you can print any statement in Java 8, right? Using lambda expression. Now the thing is, it's time to move ahead one step further. Suppose this do task has abstract method that accepts one integer value. You can have anything like double, string, something which you wish to have. For now demonstration purpose, we are going to take one integer parameter. Now see, everything fails. Why? Because now this implementation is written for what? this implementation is written for accepting no parameter, but here our implementation requires you to give at least one parameter over here. So in this case, what is going to happen is you need to accept one parameter within this lambda expression. So let that parameter be int n. So this is something like it is taking an integer parameter, right? This is taking integer parameter, and the parameter that you will pass from over here will be accepted at this place. That means if you will pass an integer value over here, it is breaking because you are not passing any parameter, but it requires one integer parameter. So let's pass some random value like 5. So now see, it works. Why? Because now you are giving it one parameter and it requires one integer parameter. So everything is fine till now. And what will happen? This 5 that you are passing will be received at this place, and then whatever logic you have written within it will be implemented, and then you will get the output as per your logic. Now the thing is, we are taking this int n, but we are not doing anything currently. So it will simply print the statement, but it will not operate on the number. You have given one parameter, but it is not used at all in the lambda expression. So it simply prints whatever is written. Let's run it. So it is just printing Java 8 currently, whatever is written over here. But now what you can do is you can simply utilize this number to perform any task. Like you can just print this number, you can print the square of the number, you can print the cube of the number. So let's see how it can be done. You can simply print the number as this. So you can simply print the n, means the value that you are receiving over here. You can simply print it like this. So if you now run, you will get the number is 5, because you are just passing 5 from here and then you are printing the number at this place, right? So one more thing you should remember is that if you have to pass the parameter within the lambda expression, you also don't require to give this data type int. Why? Because we are giving implementation for functional interface, and Java is intelligent enough to understand if it is a functional interface, then it only has one method, right? And the data type of method is already known to it, that it is integer. So if you pass anything over here, it will expect only integer value, not anything else. And that is why it knows that this n will have the integer value, right? So it will accept only integer value. If you pass something like this, so try to pass some string, it will not work because the data type is not correct. So argument is not correct, it is saying, right? So it knows that it will only take integer value. So let's have that. Now you have printed the number itself. You can print the square using this one, n into n into n. So now let's run this one. The square is 25. Now you can go ahead and print cube, and then it will be n into n into n, and now you will get something like this. This cube is 125. So you can do anything what you want with this one parameter that you have got, right? Now let's go ahead and take two parameters, int num2. So now it requires you to give two parameters, and see, again it breaks. Why? Because it knows that functional interface that has the method requires two parameter, but we are just taking only one parameter. So let's give two parameter at this place for implementation, and here also you need to pass two parameters while calling greet, right? So now let's have the value as m comma n. So it will take two integer values and place it in m and n and print as per the requirement. So let's pass 5 comma 6 for the time being, and when we pass 5 comma 6, 5 will be stored in the first parameter, that is m, and 6 will be stored in the second parameter, that is n, right? And using that we can now do any operation. For example, let's go ahead and do the addition. So m plus n would give you 11, right? Since 5 plus 6 will be 11, so you will now get the output as 11. So okay, it is giving 56 because you should keep in mind that anything that is written after string is treated as string. So whenever you are passing this one 5,6, and after the statement you are writing m plus n, then it is considering m plus n as string, the values as string, and what it is doing, since we are using this plus, it is concatenating. So you are getting add, then 5 is appended, then 6 is appended, so you are getting add 5 6, right? So if you want the sum, you can put this in the bracket itself, and now you run, you will get 11, right? So now it is doing the sum and then appending to this string. So now you get the expected output. You required this bracket, right? So now it is working as per expectation. Now if you want to subtract, then go ahead and write. So you will get -1, 5 minus 6 is -1. Now this is for the single statement. What if you needed to check that the value m should be greater than n, then only the subtraction should be performed. In that case, you now require parenthesis, should end with semicolon. So now for multiple lines, you require to have this parenthesis, and if you have only single statement, then parenthesis is not needed. So now what you are going to check, if m is greater than n, then you are going to do the subtraction and print the value. Otherwise what we are doing, we are simply saying that first param should be greater than the second, and we are printing that message. So in this case, what is there, 5,6, so m is less than n, so in this case we will get this message, right? So let's run this one. See, we are getting first param should be greater than second, right? And it is expected because m is not greater than n, so it is going in the else statement. Now if we change this one to something like 10,6, then it will work, and we will now get this one. That means change this one to subtract. So now we will get subtract is equals to something like this, run, and you will get 4. 10 minus 6, 4 you are getting, right? So far we are good, and we have understood different things like how we can take different parameters and how we can work on different parameters and perform various operations. Now the thing is, our lambda expression was performing the task within its body. It was not returning anything. Now we want to return the value to the caller, right? So in this case, let's change this void to suppose int. Now what you need to do is, whatever you are calculating, you should return that in the form of integer, and it will be received over here as an integer result, right? So now this one is breaking because this will return int value, and we are not returning anything currently, right? So what we have to do is, now the thing is, let's take one variable result, and within result what we will do is, within result we will perform this operation m minus n. If we fall into this one, then we are getting result as, sorry, just have this one over here, result is this one, and then we are going to have m minus n at this place, right? So now we are getting this one. If m is greater than n, then it will fall into this one and print the result. Otherwise it will fall into the else and would print this one, and then we have to return something so that rule is not violated. So let's return 0. So if it falls into this, then it should return the result as 0, which is not logical, but just for understanding purpose we are doing this. So we are going to return the result from this place. Now see, everything is working fine, right? So this is 0 we are returning. So let's make this to something like, so that we understand that we have entered into something which is error. Now the thing is, if we execute the same thing again using 10,6, then it will work fine. But the thing is, it will print the result over here, but we don't need to print the result. We don't want to print the result at this place. Rather, we want to send this value to the caller who has called this one, right? So now what will happen is, this result value will be returned from here, and the caller which is placed over here should receive that value. So now it should receive the result, and now within the result what you can do, you can print the received result at your end. So now this is the returned result. So whatever result this is going to return, it will be printed at this place, right? So now let's execute this, and see the return result is 4. Change this to something else like 15,6. Now you should get the result as 9, right? 9. You are getting it as 9. Now just change this one to 60 or something greater. Now you know that m becomes less than n and it will not fall into this one, and since it will not go into this block, rather it will come in else block. And now at first when it enters into else block, it will print this statement and then return this result, which will be stored in the result variable, and finally it will be returned from here and it will be received at this place and then it will be printed here, and we will get return value as minus 99999 whatever is written over there. So let's execute this and see, we are getting first param should be greater than second, return value is this one. So first statement is getting printed from here and the second statement is getting printed after the value is returned. So we are getting this one as minus 999. Hope you have been able to understand this one, right? Now you can perform different operations, means whatever you want and however you want to do it. We have seen it for multiple lines, right? So suppose if you want to see it for a single line, then how it will work. So let's go ahead and see. Suppose we again go and perform the square and return the value, right? So now what we want to do, we want to perform square operation on this m and n, and then what we are going to do, we are going to return that result. So we don't require this, we simply know that we require this m into n, we need to create this m into n. So what we are doing, we are now again come to a single statement at present, right? So return m into n, so you have to write a semicolon to end the statement. So this is all you need, and now just make it simple so that calculation is easy. 10 into 60 is 600, right? So the result you will get as 600 if you execute this one. So see, you are getting the return value as 600. Why? Because you will pass 10 comma 60, so 10 will be stored in m and 60 will be stored in n, and then finally 10 into 60 will be calculated and returned. Now the thing is, you know that if it is a single statement, you don't require any parenthesis, right? So if parenthesis is not needed, we can remove this. So this is optimized, and at the same time you don't require this return keyword as well. If you have a single statement, then you don't need it at all, and this will simply be the simplest statement that will perform the multiplication based on two number. That means just give the lambda expression for this greet where it will accept two parameters m comma n, and then give the lambda expression, that is arrow symbol, and then provide the logic. That's all, and it knows that it has to return whatever it has calculated. How? Because it is intelligent enough to understand that we are providing lambda expression implementation for the functional interface which has only one abstract method, and it expects you to return a integer value. So it knows that it has to return this value to the caller, and as a result it returns the value after calculation, and that is getting stored in the result. So hope you have understood this one. So I would request you to go ahead and play around with different things. So here I am giving you some tasks which you should do, and if you are able to do it perfectly, then you should understand that you have really understood Java 8 feature lambda expression to some extent, and then you have also understood how to provide implementation to any functional interface using lambda expression. So your programs are at the screen. Just go ahead and start coding, and don't forget to tell us how you felt about this video, and if you really learned and enjoyed this video, so please don't forget to subscribe our channel, because it will help us to grow as well. Thanks for your time, and keep learning, keep enjoying.